At CNBC's town hall last September, Velma Hart told President Obama she was waiting for the change he promised for the middle class.
I have 2 children in private school, and the financial recession has taken an enormous toll on my family. My husband and I have joked for years that we thought we were well beyond the hot dogs and beans era of our lives. Right. But quite frankly, it's starting to knock on our door, and it's true that might be where we're headed again. And quite frankly, Mr. President, I need you to answer this honestly. Is this my new reality?
Well, the recession has literally hit home for Ms. Hart after being unexpectedly laid off as CFO of AmVets just last Friday. In a CNBC exclusive, Velma is here along with CNBC senior Washington correspondent John Harwood. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
And our sympathies for your job loss. But we all know people who have gone through this. You spoke for America in many ways back in September, and now you have become, in a different way, a face of America. How does that feel?
Awkward. The reality is that at that time I wasn't speaking for America. I was speaking for myself. I was speaking for those in my circle. What I found out the very next day, if not that night, was that thousands of people actually believed that I was speaking for them too. It was an honor to have the opportunity, and I think right now I'm just kind of numb, I think, in some respects.
Can we put to rest any conspiracy theories or anything right now? Do you think in any way your job loss is related to the things you said on CNBC?
Yeah, I've been asked that question a couple of times. I was the CFO of the organization. I think there were budgetary issues. There's no question about that. And so while I think the question is very provocative and certainly interesting, I have no reason to believe it was based on anything other than what I've been told.
Mm-hmm. John, you did a wonderful profile of Velma that we've seen several times today on CNBC, but she does now crystallize in a very high-profile way one of the major challenges for the administration, and that is the issue of jobs. And that really hasn't changed over the last couple of years.
No question about it. Today, the president's in Kokomo, Indiana, trying to make the case that his auto bailout and his stimulus work. He's citing a Chrysler plant where they've added 400 jobs that had been lost previously, trying to make the case that, yes, it's working. And actually, Velma told me yesterday when we were talking, she said, I'm a data-driven person. I can be hopeful because I see the data showing that the economy is getting better. Nevertheless, there are millions and millions of people right now, 15 million Americans, who are out of work, and Velma's come to symbolize that right now.
I believe that's 15,000,001, John, just so we keep it in perspective.
I must say, though, I wish every person without a job had the skills, composure, and capacities of Velma Hart.
Yeah, we can all hope that you will not be without a job for long. Your husband is employed, correct?
Absolutely.
And how are your family finances? Can you ride this out? You've got 2 kids in private school.
Well, here's the thing. As a finance professional, we are inherently private. So I won't talk about my specific condition, but what I will tell you is that I think there's bandwidth for me to look for the right opportunity, and I'm grateful for that. And that also reminds me that I'm enormously highly favored and blessed in a way that many Americans really aren't. They couldn't carry it that long.
Do you still feel sorry, John?
I was going to say, I will say that when Velma and I were talking yesterday in our interview, she's an Obama supporter, still is an Obama supporter, but she's going to test the effectiveness of his program right now, because one of the things she might look into is the mortgage loan modification. See if that works, because many people have found that it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Do you remain, though, now that you find yourself in this unenviable position, do you remain as confident and as supportive of the president's policies as they stand now as you did when you were employed?
Absolutely. The issue isn't the president by himself. We live in a democracy. Yes. And because we live in a democracy, all of us have a role. And I think this president doesn't get supported for the agenda he wants to advance for a variety of reasons. But I think that needs to stop, and we need to start moving this country forward.
John, I think she'd be the perfect business administration liaison, frankly, for the administration.
Well, they're trying to strengthen ties to business.
They are trying
to do that. The president's looking to make an appearance before the Chamber of Commerce. Velma Hart could be a wingman for the
Listen, she's been a CFO, right? She's been a CFO. She's a vet. She's, a mother. And they're looking to strengthen their ties with business.
What
do you think?
Know, huh?
Tell us about the struggles that nonprofits are going through at the moment. I mean, horrendous,
Absolutely.
Right?
And I appreciate you bringing that up, because that's a profession. That's my profession. And I love it. And it hurts me now. My organization wasn't the only organization that was suffering. There were lots of organizations out there suffering. Nonprofits represent what business calls the long tail. when the impact hits, we don't feel it immediately because people have already made their discretionary spending decisions. They've decided they're going to join. They've decided they're going to make a donation. However, in the subsequent years, there's the adverse effect because discretionary income is not plentiful. So lots of organizations are going to have to make this decision. In fact, in D.C., the mayor just announced that there were going to have to be some significant budget cuts. And he was telling people, look, come to me with your ideas, but at the end of the day, we're still going to have to make some tough decisions. And I believe that's what my organization is having to do.
And as you told me yesterday, nonprofits are a trailing indicator, not a leading indicator.
Not a leading indicator at all. They're always the long tail.
You want to stay in the not-for-profit area?
I would love to stay. That's my passion. And I have to tell you, having served in the military, when I separated, I thought that was the end. I said, that part of my life is over. When I came back to AMVETS, I got to kind of refresh and reconnect with that community. I'd love to stay in that space as well. We'll see what happens.
So you started to go through that litany of she's a wife and a mother and a financial analyst and all that. We all remember the clip that Jon Stewart played of that portion of her statement.
Yes,
and he said, we have found Obama's kryptonite. I've got to say, if she's Obama's kryptonite, she's going about it in a very gentle way.
The video resume will be on CNBC.com.
Absolutely.
8 minutes for anyone who is interested. You remember the movie The Graduate where they said plastics?
Yes, I do.
Here's my advice for you.
Wait a minute, I don't remember that because that would date me.
Well, you said yes, and you're a truthful woman. Dancing with the Stars, Velma.
How about no? How about absolutely no?
That's a great idea.
She's got a middle school daughter who's a hip-hop dancer, as I do.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Maybe she'll nominate
I
some
still
family, and I think
there were certain things we talked about yesterday, John, you were not supposed to bring to this forum.
You have to say the words off the record.
I got to remember that.
Off the record.
You are so charming, so upbeat. You must be, at minimum, a little bit scared.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, as we were walking to the set, I was telling John, I'm a little anxious. I don't know how you can go through a situation like this and not be. There was a question that he asked me yesterday that has stuck in my head ever since he asked it, and that is the question, what do you think, Velma? Will you have to give up your house? And I looked around my house and I said, we've acquired some really nice things, and we thought this was the place we would retire. The thought of giving that house up is something I don't want to grapple with.
You are 2 days into this interim stage in your life. Have you applied for unemployment benefits, and will you?
I really haven't thought. There's been no time to move in that direction. There really has been so many people. It's been overwhelming. Have reached out to me.
I know we would like to follow your quest here. I know John will stay in touch and do that as you go forward.
Absolutely.
And my advice to you is enjoy the time off.
Yes, sir.
And you are one of the lucky ones who has not had forced time off in the past.
Yeah.
If I have regrets at those moments, looking back on my career where I was moving between one thing and the next, I didn't take the time off. Take it, enjoy it, spend time.
I'll try to do that. Thank you.
And have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Good luck, Velma.
Thank you.
I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season, and best of luck. Keep us posted.
Yes,
John,
ma'am.
the same to you.
Have a great holiday, guys.